I have no doubt that invitation into the Jello paved the way for me to become the artist that I am today. And then in the early 90s, I had the pleasure of joining a SPARC summer program, which I later found out was the result of generous donors giving me the ability to be in that show via scholarship, which in turn inspired me, it touched me enough to want to launch Mraz Foundation. SPARC is a school for artistic training. It's a place to nurture creativity, acceptance, compassion, and empathy. And it gives me great pleasure to be here today to dedicate this center in the name of John Robert Powell, who was my grandfather, a generous Richmonder. He was a generous Richmonder who was not an artist by trade. He was an engineer for Crawford Manufacturing. He was a carpenter, he was a farmer, and he was a lover of musicals. He too himself, he was a great singer. And when he passed away prematurely at 59 years young, interestingly, he was reading You Can't Afford the Luxury of a Negative Thought by John Roger and Peter McWilliams. In that book, he had marked a quote that read, "I want death to find me planting my cabbages." And were he here today, he would not want to be in the spotlight, but instead be planting cabbages with the community that is SPARC, where his grandchildren and his great-grandchildren come to learn. And while this building is dedicated for one name, it is the result of many families and many generosities. It's an investment that will reap benefits for years to come, ensuring that SPARC is here to stay. And for this occasion, I have composed a song about this man who was not an artist, but who was a farmer and a lover of the arts. And I will turn now to my trusty guitar. Father to my mother, who died when I was 12, who didn't leave a fortune, but a different kind of wealth. A tree for me to climb in, with fruit under its leaves, which season after season became quite a legacy. More than just a father, he was a high almighty king, who built himself an empire with a small handful of seeds, and never was too noble to get down on his knees. A seer of the future, he was a man who planted trees. Oh, 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 oh. At dawn he'd catch the light awake to see what the night had brought, with coffee to repair the mind and mend the damage done. He handed me a hat of his to protect me from the sun. Seek refuge in the shade, he'd say, or burned you will become. More than just a farmer, he was a brilliant engineer, whose footsteps took him farther as they fertilized the fields. And on an ancient rootstock he placed new varieties. A believer in the future, he was a man who planted trees. Taught me how to kiss the ground and be grateful with my words aloud. Even the air is different now. and I'm gonna make him proud. In the not too distant time ahead, time will dispose of me and distill me to my essence in that great big compost heap. And if I get to heaven, the kind of angel I will be is one who guides another towards the light out of their seed. I'll be just like my grandfather, a servant and a king, and leave behind the land brightened by all the love I bring, singing while I'm sweating, showing work don't bother me. Yeah, the future's made by dreamers and the men who planted trees. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Jason. It seems so